Hello there, it's me, Richard Herring. Welcome to another Retro Leicester, but this is one of my favourite ever episodes with Greg Davies. I think this might be the best one. I like Sarah Pascoe as well. and Bob Mortimer. It's so hard for me to choose. They're like my children, but it's a very funny one anyway. I think you will enjoy it. My tour's still going on. Head to richardherring.com/happy_now/tour. You can find out all the dates. I'm just going to do that myself while I'm talking to you, and you know, I'll fill so it won't look terrible. Thanks to everyone who's come. The DVD record was amazing. 800 people, the biggest audience I've ever played to. Bristol Old Vic was also amazing. So coming up on Thursday, I'm at the Brighton Comedia. Friday, the 22nd of April, Bath Comedia. 23rd of April, I'm Crawley. Don't think that one's selling very well. 24th of April, Nottingham Glee. 28th of April, Cheltenham. 29th, Sutton. I think that's not selling well. 30th, Winchester. And then next month, I'm in Windsor Arts Centre on the 7th of May, Belfast on the 8th, but that's sold out. Chelmsford on the 19th, Cambridge on the 20th, the Cornerstone in Didcot on the 21st, Northern Farm in Maidenhead on the 28th, and then there's two new gigs in June in Leeds. There's an extra gig in Leeds at the Wardrobe, and on the 9th of June, on the 10th of June, I'm in Peterborough, and there's one more chance to see it in London at the Leicester Square Theatre on the 12th of June. You can get all those details at richardherring.com/gigs if you like as well, instead of the more unwieldy URL. I believe the kids are calling it these days. Oh! Anyway, so thanks so much to everyone who's come on the tour. It's been a big success, and it means that I can carry on putting out these shows ostensibly for nothing. Although we're doing more Leicester, of course, in June and July at the Leicester Square Theatre. I'm just starting to think about booking those now. So you can buy tickets for those as well if you want to come go to the Leicester Square Theatre website. And we might do a Kickstarter, I guess, to film them. I don't know. Feels greedy. What do you think? I mean, we can't do it if you don't pay for it. So anyway, I hope you enjoy Greg Davies on Leicester. Goodbye.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Leicester Square Theatre. Please welcome a man who'd like to say very sorry to Colin Baker. It's Richard Herring! Hooray! Welcome to Richard Herring's Leicester Square Theatre podcast. Or as all the cool kids are calling it, Leicester. Oh, you're not quite as good as last week's audience. I did a spin on it. I spun it 180 degrees. So it's lovely to be here. I haven't got anything to talk about. So I will. I'll come to. Look, I'm wearing a night. I don't really need to do this because there are other cameras filming me. I'm wearing a T-shirt. What have you got? I can't believe someone has bought this T-shirt. What would it take for you to fillet the actor Keith Allen? How does that go when you wear that in public?
I tend not to.
You tend not to wear it in public. Do you have a jumper? You wear a jumper on top of it? Because it's quite a... You can get these at richardherring.cottoncart.com if you want. Oh, well, you know that. You've bought it already. I don't know why I'm telling you. That's insane. This one has sort of ejaculant. Not, I mean, on the design. I think there is a little bit of your own... That's the problem with my fans. They are. But that tackline. That's you, isn't it? If anyone was to tweet you... @tackline. You're an unfamiliar face. What's your name? Do you sit next to it? These are nuclear physicists. That's David Frew.
My name's Janine.
Janine. What? You've got like tattoos. Yeah. What's that of? That's terrifying. It's like
It's cute.
It's a mouse with antlers. That's not cute. Let me just go in there, do my job. Look, I'm doing pretty well, Chris. I could be a cameraman if this doesn't work out. Why has the mouse got antlers?
Because that's her species.
Because that's her species. You never thought you'd sit next to someone odder than you, did you, David? You never thought that would happen? What do you do for a living?
I work at the BBC.
Do you work at the BBC? Have you come sort of talent spotting, trying to... Or when you work in the canteen?
I work in a show called Casualty.
You work in a show called Casualty? Yeah.
I used to be a doctor.
You used to be a doctor?
I want you to be a doctor.
Oh, you want me to be a doctor in Casualty? I'd be good at that, yeah. I'd just ask people, have you ever tried to suck your own cock? And go, That is why your back hurts. So don't do it again. What is your role on Casualty?
Script editor.
Script editor. So I could write a script for it. That would be good. Oh, that's good. Let's do it. That is a contract that I have on film. And I honestly need the work. And are you with the old hamster reindeer head? Yeah. What do you make of the tattoo?
I think it's cute.
You think it's cute or good?
Cute.
Cute. I reckon you're in there. Is it your husband / boyfriend? No. Look at his face. He wants to be. But look at her face. Not a chance. Look at that face. Look at her cool tattoos. Look at you and your little Gap top. So, what do you do?
I purify antigen.
You purify
Antigen.
antigen. Is that a lot of impure antigens around? What was your name? So I didn't get your name. Alex. What are antigens? I don't think you can pluralise it, can you? No. What is antigen?
It generates antibodies in the body.
Oh. So you should... Is he working on Casualty with you? Are you going to be writing a Casualty script, or are you an advisor? You're editing it. Going to get rid of her and you're going to edit it. I'll do the funnies. I'm the... Can't even think of his name now, the guy who said that. And hello, you didn't think you'd get into this, did you? This is a new person in the front row. Hello.
Hello.
Oh, God, that was a surprisingly high voice. And what's your name?
Rebecca.
Rebecca, don't be so... I'm not going to be nice. I was nasty to him, but look, I mean, he looks like a dick, and you're a very attractive... You're a very attractive, refined woman. How could I... You know, you look like a sort of female Where's Wally, you know, in a different... She's wearing a stripy top. It was pathetic. It can't all be gold dust. We'll cut that one out. What do you do for a living?
I'm a nanny.
You're a nanny? That's nice, isn't it? See, that's a proper job. Like purifying antigens. What good does that do anyone? She looks after little kids and stuff. Are you a boyfriend? You gonna punch me in the face after the show? Because he smiled then, but before then there was a real sense of danger. You've done very well for seeing that there is a chance. Because look at that again, and then look at that. But now look at this. And then look at that. I mean, that's unbelievable. No, that's a massive compliment to you, mate. You're like something off the Hunchback of Notre Dame, and what? It is charming. Yeah, I'm a comedian. What do you say? You are very charming. What do you do for a living? I'm a millionaire. What? You work for a bank. Yeah, so essentially. You've seen, haven't you? Thought he's got a lot of money. It's not his, but he has access to it. That'd be very good. Well, you're all very welcome. I'm sorry for being so rude. Because if my antigen ever gets impure, you're going to have the last laugh here, Alex. So look, we've got a fantastic guest for this podcast. And all the others as well. That made it sound like some of the other podcasts don't have fantastic guests. They're all gold dust. Will you please welcome him? He is probably best known as Hercules in Nelly Nut Life. That is why you've all come to see this. Will you please welcome Greg Davies, ladies and gentlemen? Here he is. Welcome. Sit down. Pick up a mic. You'll have to... Same shot. You'll have to pick up the mic. That's nice. How are you doing?
I'm all right, thank you. I'm a little bit self-conscious because I did have a fetching jumper on when I arrived, but I've been told by Alexi it's incredibly hot up here, so I've taken it off.
Isn't that hot?
I've revealed this T-shirt, which is, to say the least, not flattering.
I think it's good. It's got stripes on it. Not as good. No, I've got a Shrek-based one. Put a Shrek.
That's nice. You've got to cling on to your youth.
So, talking of that, what do you remember of playing Hercules in Nelly Nut Live?
I didn't know I did. I wrote on Nelly.
You wrote the whole series.
That was my first showbiz job, writing on a kids' cartoon. Yeah, it was great. I loved it.
And you were Hercules on it. It
was sort of at the tail end of the times at the BBC where, like, everybody was getting paid loads of money for just fucking about, really. And then it was sort of just after Nelly Nut finished, everyone went, oh, God, we don't have to pay 50% of these people. We can get rid of all of them. So, yeah, so I was...
What was the premise of Nelly Nut Live?
It was a small northern girl and her Welsh teddy bear. Right. And It was a live animation, so the two actors who played the characters would speak live into the mics, and it would go out live, and they would have rudimentary sort of animated responses. I mean, easily, comfortably, one of the worst stories I've ever told.
Sometimes, you know, these choosing the obscure.
Yeah, I mean, you asked the questions. You asked the questions.
Sometimes it leads to gold dust, sometimes it doesn't. Well, I think I mischose because I think you're probably best known for playing WG Grace in the ads for Channel 4's short-lived coverage of the Ashes.
That was my first appearance on television. Yeah.
How was that for you? Do you have any funny stories from filming those?
I suppose the two funny things that spring to mind is they made me dress as WG Grace throughout the campaign, and some twat at Channel 4 had this idea that they would send me to the Ashes matches and to other high-profile public events, right? Now, that's great, and once the Ashes started going and the adverts were running, you know, I'd go to the Ashes and people would go, hey, it's WG, it was great. But before the Ashes started and before the adverts went out, they were still sending me to things. So they sent me to the Wimbledon semi-final, where Tim Henman got knocked out, and I had to shout these pre-written catchphrases. And all of the people on centre court hadn't seen the adverts, they hadn't been out. So it was just a man dressed as a Victorian cricketer going, yes, come on, England! And they were going, oh, look at that poor, unfortunate lunatic. How tragic that he would go to the trouble of dressing up as WG. And the other thing that made me laugh was that I was at one of the matches and all my friends were furious because I couldn't give a toss about cricket. So they were all furious I was getting to go to all these big games. And the whole team walked past me one day, and all of them, Michael Vaughan and all of everyone sort of doffed their cap just before they went on and went WG, and they were all little smiles. And then Freddie Flintoff was last, and I sort of went, hello, we used to get into character, and he did this. It's awful. It's awful, Richard.
Imagine being attacked you. It would have been
Imagine if he had attacked me, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think in the inevitable newspaper story, he might have come out worse with those pictures.
Hitting WG Grace in the face.
I've got another story about that, actually.
Oh, yeah, go on. It sounds like we could get the whole thing.
My sister got married around that time.
They made you go to her wedding?
Yeah.
Shout, come on, England!
Come on! That's it, consummate. No, but Channel 4 had made all these T-shirts with my face on it in the sort of Kitchener "Your Country Needs You" thing, but me pushing a cricket bat. And my dad's cousin, who's sort of an uncle to me, a very funny man called Gordon, he was obsessed with the fact that I'd been on television. He couldn't cope with the fact that I'd been on television. But before the wedding, my mum said, this is your sister's special day, okay? So, you know, we're all very proud that you're doing an advertising campaign on television, and it's great, and that you're a low-level comedian. But this is your sister's special day, and I want you to just keep it low. It's all about her. And I went, of course, it's all about her. It's fine. So I did. I sort of hid in the background all day, and even when my sister's husband mentioned me in the speech, I didn't say anything back. I just went like that, you know, just to stay in the background. And I got away with it all day, and it had all been a perfect wedding. And then I slipped my dad's cousin one of these T-shirts and went, I'm giving you a present, but you're not to open it until after the wedding. And he goes, okay, yeah. And then my sister was in a beautiful dress waving goodbye to everyone. And the last car that drove past was his, and he was standing out of the sunroof with my face, going, come on, England! And my sister turned around and looked at me and just went...
Are they still together, your sister?
Yeah, very happily together.
Good, thank God. It would have been awful if that had destroyed...
Wouldn't it?
But also just been bad if they'd broken up and you just went, yeah, that's not really...
Yeah, if I'd have told that story so gleefully, it would be... Yeah.
And you are tall.
Yes. Yes, aren't I?
You are the tallest
and I get criticised a lot for that. Oh, Greg Davies always going on about being tall. I never go on about it. People always ask me about it, don't they?
You're the tallest person we've ever had on this before.
I think I'm the same height as Stephen Merchant.
1 inch. You're 1 inch higher than in my chest.
Am I? And
he's 2.01
13
metres.
stone heavier.
You're probably a little heavier than him. You're a bit wider than he is. He's like a little reed.
He's very thin,
I
isn't
bet not be. He's a very nice man.
He's
I'm
a
not going to
great
say
guy.
anything else rude about him.
He speaks very highly of you.
He's a very talented comedian and scriptwriter. But I read there was breaking news today when we recorded this that you were accusing people of heightism because you get a lot of in GQ. Do you remember doing this interview for GQ?
Oh no, I don't. No.
Where you were talking about people saying things like, "What's the weather like up there?" to you all the time.
It was my first stand-up routine. That was.
Right.
Yeah. Sounds like I'm still doing that then. Yeah.
And
I do get a lot of that. That was my first ever stand-up routine. Was that, and about an old lady who came up to me and said, "Do you want a job at my house, changing light bulbs?" And I said, "No, I have career plans of my own." It was a very funny routine.
I think GQ just copied that off your DVD and didn't tell you about it. Okay. Do you think there is heightism in the world? Do you suffer any prejudice?
I don't. I think heightism is probably too strong. I think height tedium. There's never a day in my life where someone doesn't feel the need to tell me how tall I am, which I find
You are really
remarkable.
tall, though. I don't know if
And
you
they
know
often.
this.
I am. What I find intriguing is in pubs, they often feel the need to just pop the word cunt afterwards as well. But as if it's a term of affection. Well, you're a tall cunt, aren't you? Well, here I am, yes.
Well, I've already discussed. I had an idea, but it's like going to be a little special extra podcast that you kindly get if you've paid some money about an idea I have about how we could do a film together. There you go.
Yeah.
You're not going to hear about it here. So you grew up in. Well, hey, also you got size 13 feet.
14.
14. Not that impressed. Robert Llewellyn used to be a cobbler. Used to make shoes. He made a size 19 shoe.
Yeah?
So, yeah.
Wow.
So, small feet. That's what I say to you.
Good.
Tiny feet.
And I find it refreshing for you to call me small feet. That poor man. He must have looked like a fucking human right angle. Didn't he?
I think he was only like 1 foot tall as well, so it was.
So
it's
not.
massive. It was
Like a set square.
It was mainly foot. It was supposed to go over the top. Is this a real place? You grew up in a town called Wem.
Yeah.
That just sounds like a sort of stupid Monty Python made up.
Oh, it does,
Wem.
doesn't it?
It must,
it's not. No,
do you have to, every time you say it, do people have to say, what? Do you have to go W-E-M?
No, most
Wem.
people just go, okay, sounds like a town name. It's a small town in Shropshire.
Where do you live? Wem. No, where? No, Wem. There's a kind of Abbott and Costello routine in there.
I've never had experienced that, Richard, but I'm happy to tonight. It's the home of the sweet pea.
Well, if I find any sweet peas, I'll send them back there.
I mean, the sweet pea was created there.
Oh, okay. What is that? By God? Is it the Garden of Eden?
No, it's just, some gardeners did that thing where they,
Spliced
fuck
together.
about with species, and it was born in Wem. So if you see a sweet pea from now on, it's from Wem.
What is a sweet pea? Is it a pea or is it a flower?
It's like a flower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does it grow peas on it?
I don't know.
Are they sweet?
I couldn't give a shit.
You brought it up. You were all proud. I come from Cheddar.
I was all proud.
You're all proud of the sweet pea.
You're all proud coming on
I
here.
come from Cheddar, home of cheddar cheese, the most famous cheese in the world. Fuck you with your sweet pea. Although they didn't make it in Cheddar, unlike the sweet pea. It's good. We're learning about stuff.
Wem Best Bitter as well.
Wem's best. The what? The
Wem Best Bitter. There was
Wem.
Until about
Wem.
Wem. Yeah. Until about '85, there was a brewery in Wem. Wem Best Bitter was world famous, and every single one of my school trips was to the Wem Brewery. Guess where we're going this year?
Just in the same town.
I stole a whole barrel of beer from there when I was about 17. Me and some friends broke into the brewery and stole a whole barrel of beer, and I put it on my back because I was the tallest, and we ran across, and the brewery security guard set dogs on us. But we managed to escape. And I went home last weekend, and it's still in my mum's rockery, the beer bag. Full of beer, presumably, because we got home and realised we didn't have any equipment to get it out. It's great in Wem, It's a really great old... You should all come. It's really nice.
Cheddar has its own brewery as well. Guess what their bitter's called? See if you can guess.
Nope, I can't think of anything funny to say to that.
Gorge best.
Ah, of course it is.
Gorge, like
Ah,
George,
that's lovely.
like
George Best. Get your stuff, all of you. Get your stuff.
Took them a long time to get that. That is very tragically sad. So I'm going to go to an emergency question because we've already there's an antipathy between us over the Gloucestershire, Shropshire. That's how little respect for you I have. Shropshire's not a real place. That's I can't. Wem and Shropshire. God. Shropshire. It's not a proper. That's not a real count. That's like in The Hobbit, Shropshire. Wem, I come from Wem in Shropshire.
The line you're ploughing here, I understand you're going down this, but it only works if I give a shit about Shropshire, which I do. I love it. It's a beautiful county. Stiper Stones. Oh, so picturesque.
The what? The
Stiper Stones.
Cypress Stones.
Stiper Stones.
I don't know that. No.
It's an area of natural
grow?
beauty in Shropshire. It's lovely.
Okay.
And Church Stretton, there's a fault in Church Stretton. A plate fault in the so there's some beautiful countryside there.
Could it fall into the sea at any moment?
No, because
like
it's right in the middle of
Andreas
England,
faults?
Richard. Although my mum has such an obsession with extreme weather that she thinks it's going to. Does anyone else's mother do? My mother only talks about extreme weather to me now. Go on.
If you had to choose between having a tit that dispensed talcum powder, an infinite amount though.
Yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't be infinite. It would run out. Well, it would never end. It would never run out. But I'm not saying that there's an infinite amount of talcum powder in there. That would be insane. You would need some kind of vortex inside there. Yeah. But it would never run out.
But for my needs, it would never run out.
From your perspective, it would never run out. Or a finger that could travel through time. Which of those two? What? Why are you looking at me like that's a bad question?
Only my finger gets to travel through time.
Yeah, your finger, but you can decide where it's going, and you'll be able to just look through the hole and see what it's doing, and you can choose. You can poke someone, or there is a limited amount of stuff you could do with it.
Oh, so I can see what I can be going like this to Guy Fawkes. Yeah. Well, obviously a finger. Then I don't know. Well, I don't use talc anyway, so I don't want to. Talc dispensing tip.
What would you do? What would you like this to Guy Fawkes?
I suppose
I could do this like to Guy Fawkes. Guy Fawkes will go, "What's that disembodied finger doing?" Gesturing towards me.
I saw this awful thing on the internet when I was supposed to be writing recently. It showed Guy Fawkes' signature when he was caught, and then his signature. Have you seen this? The signature after he was tortured, just before he was killed, and the signature's all, because he's in such awful pain. So, after his torture, I would be able to reach through and go, "Oh,
that's nice.
Sorry about them cutting your penis off." They did do that.
They did. Yeah. But he also he jumped off the scaffold and committed suicide. And thus avoided...
I think it's a fine line between committing suicide and being hung.
You think that? You think that?
It wasn't... Suicide's generally a choice thing, isn't it?
It is. He killed himself. But what
do you know what I'm going to do? Fuck you, I'm going to kill myself. We're going to hang you, Fawkes.
Hey, it's annoying.
We've chopped your penis off. Don't make out. Don't try and get control back now.
They've set all the stuff up, it's annoying. But also, we wasted our time putting that rope and scaffold here. Also, he avoided being hung, drawn and quartered.
Did he, though?
Yeah. He was going to be drawn and
quartered. I think he was drawn and quartered.
Someone's saying he was at the back. I'm pretty sure he avoided that.
Someone at the back is furious about this.
Guy Fawkes has travelled through...
Hey?
You failed to kill yourself when you jump because it doesn't break the vertebra in your neck.
Well.
So you're just in a lot of pain.
Yeah, but he jumped off the scaffold and killed himself before he wasn't with the rope on.
He jumped high enough to break his own neck, allegedly.
No, you break your neck when you just...
No, don't, mate.
Hey.
A, no one can hear you at home. B, you're just saying, no, if he jumped off, he wouldn't die. That's not what happened. He jumped off without the rope on and killed himself.
No, he didn't.
He did.
No, he didn't. No, I'm contradicting both of you. What he did was he jumped so high. No, he did. He took a really big high jump, and as a result, the rope snapped his vertebra and he died.
Okay. It was one of those. The other good thing about...
If I'd had my finger, of course,
Yeah,
when he was in midair, I would have put it through and caught his foot, and I would have gone, "You sure about this? You've got a lot to live for. You don't need a penis."
Also, when Guy Fawkes was caught, they said what he was caught like by all the gunpowder and stuff, and they said, "What's your name?" And he said, "It's John Johnson," which I think is...
And that's why they cut his penis off to teach him a lesson.
That's the worst.
Gone Johnson.
If you just said Ian Gunpowder, that would have been... Ian Gunpowder.
Ian Gunpowder.
But like...
Why Ian?
It was always Ian. But like...
Ian.
It's like he hoped if he went, "My name's John Johnson," go, "Oh, well, off you go."
Oh, well, fine. Well, we're looking for Guy Fawkes. We want to cut his penis off and get him to kill himself.
Good. So we could go back and whisper to Guy Fawkes. Was that what you do?
I'd probably just give him a little tickle under the chin. I think people with those beards like that, don't they? So I'd give him that and I'd go, "Oh, never mind."
Have you seen... I love Guy Fawkes. Have you seen his lantern?
No, you can go and see it, can't you?
It was at the British Museum.
Yeah.
Supposedly his lantern. It's amazing. His lamp that he's discovered, supposedly. It's not a joke. It's just an interesting bit of history.
I haven't seen it.
You've got to go and see it. It was one of the most... That, and it was the same... It was a Shakespeare's Restless World or something exhibition. And there was the eye of someone who'd had their eye taken out. And that was in a little... It had been set in some kind of... I can't remember what it was. It was awful.
Oh.
Anyway, that's enough history. We'll get back to time-travelling parts of the body later on in the show.
I saw the motorbike that Lawrence of Arabia died on.
Oh, did you?
Go on.
Have you ever seen dirtybritcom
I have. Someone printed a load of them off for me. Yeah.
You've got loads.
They thought I would find it funny, but I found it incredibly sexually gratifying.
But yours are.
Oh God.
Really properly sexy. Most of
tell
them.
me about it.
Most of them are ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, yours.
When they showed it me, I was going, "Oh God, how ridiculous!" And I was home. I was slamming my cock into a fridge.
I'll share. I've printed them up as well. You might not have heard. This one's from 3 days ago. You might not have seen this one. This one is.
Oh, I haven't. No, I haven't checked it lately.
I want. This one is less. You look quite like Morrissey in that picture there.
Yes, I do. I do generally.
I want Greg Davies to pour milk all over me, then lap it off slowly like a massive cat. Would you be into that?
I'm just relieved that they said massive cat, because they wanted me to lick it off like a tiny little kitten. It would have been quite hard. I'll tell you, no, I would be into that, yes.
Yeah, okay.
I'm fine about licking milk off people.
The problem, I'm trying to bring people together here, but they don't. It's all anonymous, so it's very difficult to find the person. But
Can I just tell you,
Yeah.
just the word milk has reminded me of something.
Yeah.
Me and my mates used to run this sort of band night in Brentford, a rubbish little bar in Brentford. And all these local bands would come down and play it. We did it sort of once a fortnight, and all these bands would come down to play it. There was this one local funk band, I can't remember their name, and they had a much older lead guitarist than the rest of the band. The rest of the band were all 20-something, and he was sort of 45 or something. And we were sitting in the dressing room afterwards, and the 45-year-old had gone home, and it was just the young band members left. My mate went, "What's with the old guy?" And they went, "Oh, he's a legend. He started the band. He's a legend." And my mate went, "Okay, well, what makes him a legend?" He goes, "Well, I mean, he's just a legend, just generally." And my mate went, "Well, can you give me an example of his legendary behaviour?" And this small kid who was like the drummer who hadn't spoken sort of felt the need to step in. He goes, "Yeah, right, once. It was with this bird, right? He got this bird back to his place, and he was shagging her, and he started to shag her and stuff. And then he said, 'Wait there, love.' And he went to his kitchen. And he got a pan. He got a pan out, and he warmed up some milk. And then he went back, and he got a funnel, and he funneled all the milk up her arse. And my mate went, why did he do that? And this kid went, well, he's a legend.
It's nice that he warmed it up. That is considerate.
I mean, it's one of the most insane things I've ever heard.
It sounds like a perfect murder. It's like in Columbo or something. You put boiling hot milk in, so it's like Edward the Second or the first, whichever one it was. Put boiling hot milk up their anus.
If someone said, it'd be one of those things. If you were having sex with someone and then that person went out and came in with a pan of hot milk and a funnel, I think you'd be so amazed. You'd just go, yeah, I mean, funnel that into my anus would be what I would think would be the most sensible thing for you to do.
Don't knock it till you've tried it.
Yeah,
that's what it's
true.
It's kind of just leaving halfway through as well. It's sort of, well, it's just a minute.
This is nearly a litre here.
I'm going to be approximately 4 minutes.
Hey, just put your elbow in this. Is that all right? Right. Good. I'm glad it's acceptable because I'm going to funnel it into your anus. Oh, fuck, I could have used this to stand up. Fuck! What a waste.
It's all right. No one sees this.
Oh, good.
All right, there's a few more. This is having it confirmed. This is a quite recent one. Having it confirmed that Greg Davies is indeed big. Left me unable to think of much else. I think that someone has had it confirmed that you've had a...
Me, presumably.
You big, yeah.
Yeah, it's massive. Oh, God, yeah, it's a mess.
So that's it. All right, I will get... I want to do things to Greg Davies. First on the list, blow a raspberry on that belly of his.
Fine.
It's the idea that the list might not have anything sexual on it.
Yeah.
I've got a list of things.
Yeah. Secondly, just dig a garden over.
Can I blow a raspberry on your belly to see what that would be like?
Get fucked.
Hang on. Wasn't that nice for either of us, I don't think.
Yeah, I bet you regret writing in now, don't you?
I do. And then it starts to get genuinely sexy. A couple of these almost aroused me. Just read it. Greg Davies, a school desk and his tie, oomph.
Wow. I burnt all my ties when I gave up teaching them.
Did you?
Yeah, no, genuinely.
Just you could steal some from the ones you
I could get hold of a tie if that... You know,
I'm sorry.
Man wants me to...
I'm sorry. Yeah, you don't know if these are women or men they're doing this. This one is kind of mind-blowing and awful. and just slightly sexy. Greg Davies is the same age as my dad. This doesn't start well. But wait. And I have vivid dreams of going over to Dad's for dinner and Uncle Greg...
This is awful because I am an uncle.
It's not Uncle Greg. It's Uncle Greg. So the whole thing, it's not like you're pretending to be. It's not like you're just a friend of the family.
I'm pretending to be an uncle.
Well,
I am an uncle.
You know, if you were, it would be Uncle Greg if you were like just her dad's friend.
Friend, yeah.
But Uncle Greg
means I am a blood relative. Yeah.
It's quite a long one, this. When the rest of the family are enjoying their meal in the dining room...
Are you making this one up? Right.
While the rest of the family are enjoying their meal in the dining room, just picture that. I'm enjoying Uncle Greg fucking me against the kitchen counter. It's silent, hurried, rough, and so hot I get wet just thinking about it.
Right. Well, A, it wouldn't be silent. I scream. that's shattered that illusion for her, hasn't it?
Nothing could beat that. Greg Davies' face, my tits and pussy and arse. Fuck it, I just want that man everywhere.
Yeah. Okay. Well, count me out of at least one of those.
It is your face as well that they want.
I know.
If there's milk up there, I'll give it a
Oh,
go.
yeah.
Yeah. That's what it was all.
There's going to be a latte at the end of this. That's right.
It would be quite a good trick to play on someone, that you could do that to someone and then send them to someone else and then suddenly
It would explode milk.
as you're rimming them, perhaps. Okay. Yeah, that was the most disgusting thing. You weren't worried about the incestuous Uncle Greg, 25 years older than the girl fucking her on the kitchen counter with the family enjoying their meal.
Definitely wrote that one. Definitely.
Unbelievable.
And impractical. God. A 6'8" man howling away while your family are enjoying their meal.
Oh, dear. So you were a secondary school teacher. People don't know this about you.
Oh, no. No one's ever heard that.
For 15 years, and you were one. People wanted to. You liked you so much. You wanted you to be the prestigious teacher of the year.
Yeah, it was a girl, actually.
Oh, was it?
Her name was Gemma, yes.
Was it? Yeah. Did you win that?
No, because the head teacher brought me in to the room to say that I'd been nominated for... Teacher of the Year is a really big deal in the teaching fraternity. And he brought me in...
You're the best teacher of the year.
Yeah, but it is taken seriously, is what I mean.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like...
Best teacher of the year.
Yeah,
All the teachers.
Indeed. But the head teacher brought me into his office and was just pissing himself laughing, which was incredibly insulting, just going, oh, you've been nominated for Teacher of the Year. And that's what he was laughing at. But then he showed me the second thing he was laughing at, which was that it's a 6-page document that she was supposed to have filled in, proving exactly why I have all the, the multiple skills that you need to be Teacher of the Year. But she'd only written one thing. I've seen her. She's been to a few of my gigs. She's lovely. Gemma Hicks, her name is. She's 30 now. And she'd written... reasons why you think you should be Teacher of the Year. She'd written, he's a good laugh and he don't make us do no work. Amazing. The head was going, it's incredible. It's one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
It's going very well for you in your career, isn't it?
Thanks, Richard.
Yeah.
It's tinged with anger.
It's I'm annoyed. I like it when it isn't going so great for people. I can just pick at a little stitch and there's not really...
There's a myriad of insecurities. You'll find them.
There's nothing there. You started off as We Are Clang, which was a brilliant... Well, not started off, but you were doing stand-up as well. But We Are Clang was an amazing, especially live act.
Yeah.
I think it's fair to say. Like, unbelievably mind-blowing, disgusting, with Marek Larwood and Steve Hall.
Yeah.
How would you describe We Are Clang? Because I'm struggling.
Well, I don't even know myself how to describe it, really. It was just 3 idiots. And there were little limitations to our behaviour on stage. But I suppose it was... The style of it was born of the fact that the first time we ever got together, we barely did any writing or rehearsal. So we stumbled onto stage and just... any notion of professionalism or distinction between the characters. and I suppose we then realised that there was a lot of fun to be had by blurring the lines between characters and sketches and it just being a bit more freewheeling. So I was very, very proud of us as a live act. I thought we were... it's not very often that I would say to you, I think that was good, but I thought we were a really great live act.
It was great. I mean, I can remember someone's testicles is my main memory of it. Face on someone's anus or something.
Steve Hall had a talking arse during it. He put through the curtain, yeah. And he deliberately pushed his testicles through. Yeah. That wasn't part of the agreed plan. Yeah.
That was the kind of thing. But then when it went to TV, it didn't really... translate as well.
That's what history is suggesting at this stage. But who knows? These things change. I don't know. It's really hard. It's when all you've ever done is a live act. That's all we'd ever done. None of us had done any television at all. And so we got the live act right, and we thought we were firing on all cylinders. And then we had people kept saying, "Oh, how do you want to do this? How do you want to turn it into a telly show?" And I was like, "Well, I don't fucking know." But we were trying to maintain that spirit of the live act by having a live audience in the room and interacting with the audience. We sort of tried to make that work, and I don't think we quite pulled it off, as the truth. But Mrs. Brown's Boys is doing it now.
That could have been you.
Yeah.
If only you dressed up as an old woman.
Yeah,
like a gigantic
I did dress up as several old women, I'm sure, during it. But I don't think, a lot of people criticised the series when it came out. I don't think it's as bad as some people suggested. In fact, I think there are things in it I think work really well. But I would admit it's flawed.
I think it's just interesting. It's very difficult. I think when you take something that works live and try it. I think that a lot of the sketch groups that have tried to go onto TV, it hasn't necessarily. It's never been as good as it is live. But maybe that's the nature of sketches. Who knows?
It was difficult. It was a difficult thing to do. But there you go. Live and learn, don't you?
Yeah. This isn't as good this is a serious bit. This isn't really on a par with Stephen Fry admitting he tried to kill himself. I have to say.
No.
So
I thought I covered the emotional bit with the milk up the arse thing.
That was good. I'll give you that. But
no, I'm not miserable about it. Honestly, I'm really proud of We Are Clang. I look back on it with enormous affection. I think all of us do.
Will you do any more though? Are you going to go back together?
I don't. Loads of cliches I trot out now about never saying never. But none of us have got plans to do it again. And I do think there's a dignity issue now that I'm nearly 50. But I don't know. We haven't discussed doing it again. That's for sure.
But recently you've been doing. I mean, the Man Down, of course, where you finally kind of used this suspicious resemblance to Rik Mayall.
Yeah.
That I would say he probably is your real dad.
It's ridiculous, isn't it? But do you know what? I didn't look like him as a younger person. It happened sort of in my probably late 20s, early 30s, the first time people started saying you look like him. Right. I was a huge fan of his, and I think I just fucking morphed into it. It's weird.
So how is that? Because I once stood behind. I mean, I was such a big fan of all of the young ones. We just had one of them on here, and I stayed quite cool. Yeah. But especially Rik Mayall, Kevin Turvey, and
I was a huge fan of Kevin Turvey before the young ones. Yeah. And then the young ones just blew all our minds, people of that age. I think.
And so I once stood behind Rik Mayall at a petrol station, and I couldn't say anything. I couldn't even speak to him. I want to say hello.
Well,
would he be nice, do you think, if I said hello to him at a petrol station? If I get another?
I think he might have been all right, but I can tell you what happens, because when I was at university, I was doing some awful drama degree, and we got paid £1 to go and be in some dreadful show. It was a hair show, actually, so I had all hair extensions in. We had to go and do a comedy sketch at it. It was fucking dog shit. And on the way back, I was with my friend Jed, and we stopped in to buy a sandwich in a Marks and Spencer's or somewhere. And obviously I was 19 at the time, so a sensational bellend. And when we were choosing our sandwiches, and I was doing a Rik Mayall impression, going, "Ooh, what shall I have?" And my friend suddenly started going, can you stop doing that? Stop doing that. I was going, "Fuck off. Ooh, shall I have cheese and chutney or what?" And then she was just looking down at the ground. And I turned around and he was behind me with a shopping trolley and just doing this. It was awful. And like you, he was my hero. He was my hero at the time. It was awful.
But you hadn't done it because you hadn't seen him, so he thought you were doing it because you...
I was just being a tool, but he thought I was... he knew I was there, and I was...
Because have you told him this subsequently?
I have, and he has no recollection of it. Strangely, I would have thought it would be one of the happiest memories of his life.
So how is it working with him? Because I think I would still... I did try and... I wrote a play that I thought he'd be good in, and I'd ask if he'd do it. Yeah. But he didn't want to do it.
Yeah, he told me he didn't like you.
Yeah.
No, he didn't. I found it amazing working with him, and I was overwhelmed that he even came in to meet me. Yeah. But he's my hero, and he's amazing. He greeted me. I was incredibly nervous, and he greeted me by putting his arms very gently around me and just whispered into my ear, "Comrade." So I thought, fucking amazing. Incredible. Full boner.
Well, it's good to see.
But he was amazing. He was brilliant fun to work with, and he's still so ambitious and loves it all so much. It's great, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, good. Well, it's nice. Is he a nice man?
He's a great man. Yeah. And a sizzlingly honest man. Yeah. I'll do it. Yes, it's not funny, but I'll do it. I was telling Richard backstage as well, there was a scene that I'd written where go into my toilet and my dad, him, has broken into my flat to have a shit in my toilet just to annoy me. And just before we filmed it, he went, "Greg, can I have a word?" And I went, yeah. He goes, "Can you tell me what's the motivation to me and going into your toilet and having a massive shit?" Oh, it's just for a laugh, Rick. Well, there must be more to it. What does it say about the relationship between father and son? Just having a massive shit. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry I've involved you in this. So beneath you. You're right. You're right.
He's in American Werewolf London as well, which is very.
He is.
That's a combination of my loves of comedy and Jenny.
And I asked him about that in a sort of nerdy fan way. I said, "Oh, what was it like being in American Werewolf?" And he went, "Well, you know, I can't barely remember it. Someone said, 'Do you want to be in the background in American Werewolf?' And I went, 'Yes, please.' And I went, okay."
But it was because he wasn't famous when they filmed it, but he was famous by the time it came out.
Yeah.
And so everyone was going. I think the director, I should know that, John Landis.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was kind of blown away because everyone was cheering this guy, the extra, basically.
Of course,
He's still being very funny. You know, that's what you get if you say, "What's my motivation for sitting in this pub and pretending there's not a werewolf outside?" That's what you get. He's a very good actor. And what was you're in something? I like to look through the internet, the IMDb database. You're in something called Girls.
Oh yeah.
What was that? I haven't seen that. Girls.
Oh God, isn't it awful? I don't know. Oh no, I do know. It was a short film.
Yeah, it was a short film
by a filmmaker. Yeah, and interestingly, he sent it me last week and said, "Do you remember this?" And I haven't watched it yet, so
right.
I remember it being quite good fun, Richard. It was a short film. I'm 45 now. My memory's absolutely shafted, so I can't even remember what part I was. But.
No, well, I was like, I heard something. Someone sent me a link of someone on the internet, which was Marek Larwood and someone else talking. And the guy said, "This sounds like you." And, yeah, it does sound like me. It really sounds like me. And then I realised it was
you.
Me. And
it's awful,
I'd totally forgotten, like a whole day. We'd recorded about 20 episodes this week.
I met this comic in recent times, this young comic, and I went, "Hello, my name's Greg." And he went, "I know who you are." And I'll use this as a public apology to that comic. I said, he goes, "I know who you are." And I said, "Oh God, have we met?" He goes, "Well, last year, 1 year ago, we did a whole weekend of gigs together, and you and I went out on a 1-to-1 3 times." I mean, it's got to be dementia, isn't it?
Or just extreme arrogance and hatred of other people.
Or maybe he is incredibly boring.
That is the other thing. It's very difficult to remember. I find after like a gig, my brain is just completely gone to mush now. So if and there's people who come to lots of gigs, and I usually know their names, but then this weekend, a couple of people came, and I went, "Oh, it's," and then I couldn't remember their name, and that's awful. And you meet your friends and you can't remember their name, and that's it. So it's a little glimpse into the twilight of our lives that is coming.
Near, so horribly near.
I've got a pussy finger.
Have you?
Yeah. I squeezed it.
I've got a slightly swollen prostate.
Have you? It's all the milk that goes up there. That's the problem.
Not a lot of room up there.
For the deck.
It's turned to cheese now. Fuck off.
There's someone been up there, obviously having a feel around.
Someone been up there?
Yeah, having a feel.
No, well, I will tell you this.
Yeah,
I'll tell you this. This is one of my favourite things. There was something wrong with my bum a few years ago. I won't go into details, but it wasn't right. So I went to see, I was at home in Shropshire, and I went to see, my mum arranged for me to go and see my old family doctor, who's been our family doctor, since I was about 12, I suppose, he's been my family doctor. And I went to see him, and I went, "Oh, thanks for seeing me. You know, there's an emergency patient. There's something wrong with my arse. And he goes, okay, what is it? I said, well, it's not right. And I've got this pain and this is happening. And he went, oh, okay, well, I mean, it'll probably be all right. And I went, well, okay, but it's just, I mean, it's very uncomfortable, and there is some, you know, there's some blood, so, you know, I think it's quite, he went, yeah, okay. Yeah, probably, I mean, yeah, it'll probably be fine. And I went, I'm really worried about it, right? And then he said this, I think this is fucking amazing. He went, you want me to put my finger up there, don't you? I went, no! Not if it's not medically necessary, no.
I just recently went and had the same thing checked, and you know, like a young woman doctor had to put her finger up my arse, and she said, I'm sorry about this. I thought it's much worse for you than it is for me. in every sense. You're having to put your finger up an old man's anus. Don't apologise to me. It's like a little bit of human intimacy. I'm enjoying it up to... As long as you tell me there's nothing up there that shouldn't be up there. More or less was wrong.
How was it? All right?
It was more or less all right.
He was right, mine cleared up. It's fine.
Mine cleared up. I had a hemorrhoid.
Ah,
It's not so bad, is it?
that's no problem, is it?
Which is good, because, you know... Should we get into this?
Go wherever you like.
Because there was blood, you know, there was blood.
Yeah.
So it's, yeah. This is two middle-aged men having a discussion about their anuses.
Mine turned out to be an anal fissure.
Didn't she marry Ali G?
A fissure. I can't hear the word. I can't hear the word fish even without thinking of this bloke who was a teacher at our school, who every assembly he was a Christian, and he would tell a story, and then he was related to his favourite Christian folk band who were called the Fisher Folk. And his name was Mr. Preston, and he was a great teacher. And he would go, you know, life's difficult. He was from Birmingham, by the way. Life's difficult, isn't it? You know, sometimes people are good, kind to you, and you don't really know what to do about it. And I often think that that's what the Fisher Folk mean when they sing Jesus. You had to be there. Go on.
Do you ever get confused with Greg Davies, the painter and decorator, who has nearly the same web address as you, greg-davis.co.uk?
No, I don't.
No. It was a long shot.
I have been doing some painting in my flat recently, though.
Well, I
Trying to
wondered...
help you out with this section.
I wondered if it was just you. I'll have one website for the...
Budgeting for the inevitable collapse of my career, yeah.
He looks very nice. Look him up. He looks like a nice guy. He says he'll have a friendly chat with you about your job for free, so you don't have to pay him. He seems like a nice guy. greg-davis.co.uk.
I'll look him up. I'll look him up as soon as I get home.
Good. I haven't seen Cuckoo, I'm afraid.
Okay.
But because... You know, I'm out.
It's fine.
But you're married to Helen Baxendale in it.
Yeah.
You had to spend all day in bed with Helen Baxendale.
I did, which is very much the line that the tabloid journalist took when he was interviewing me on it. Yeah, you must have loved it, you dirty cunt. She was very nice. She was very nice. Yeah, but come on.
That was my next question.
Yeah, lying there with Helen Baxendale.
Is it... I have done some kissing of girls in that situation. And
it's horrible, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
awful.
Very strange.
Awful. I do. You know, Helen was just sort of, I've done this. She told me she snogged thousands of people in professional capacity, but I'd never done it. I found it very, strange.
Yeah, for the whole day.
Yeah.
Did you get an erection at any point during
this? Not even close. Not even close. But thanks for asking me.
You're saying
Helen
Baxendale's so unattractive that your penis retracted up into your body?
The thing I found the most upsetting about the whole Helen Baxendale thing was my friend's reaction. It's every time I said, you know, a friend who'd seen that programme or knew I was playing her husband, every single one of my friends went, yeah, as if that happened. That wouldn't happen, would it?
They have a point. And Andy Samberg's in it, who I didn't know anything about when it came out. And then me and my wife just watched all of one season of Saturday Night Live on Netflix, and are quite obsessed with Saturday Night Live now, which I'd never really watched before. But he's kind of, and he's in Brooklyn 911, and he's not going to be in Cuckoo anymore as a result, basically.
Yeah. I don't know the reason he's not. But I know he was very keen to be in the second Cuckoo.
Was he?
Yeah, he really was, genuinely.
He's really good.
He's a really funny man.
Yeah.
And he's nice as well. You wouldn't imagine it, would you?
No. I don't imagine. I imagine he's a prick. That's what I imagine.
No, he's a really great bloke.
Oh.
And it was great fun.
That's a shame.
I've nothing, you know. Sorry.
But it's kind of weird for an American star to come over and do a British sitcom.
Yeah.
So that's quite a coup.
I think he just liked it.
Right.
Just read it and thought, I'll go and do this.
Yeah.
He certainly didn't need to, yeah.
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 And so who's coming in the second series? Are you allowed to talk about?
Yeah, I am, yeah. It's been announced, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Taylor Lautner from the Twilight films.
Yeah. Have you filmed any of this yet? Is it in the can?
No. But as you can see, we're very much a body double. If you've seen his body, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
I can't wait
really
to have that next to mine.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I will watch it now.
But he's not replacing Andy Samberg. He's playing a different character. Yeah.
Andy Samberg could come back. He might be dead.
Feasibly, he might.
He might not be dead.
Yeah.
Good. He should be called Ian Cuckoo, though. That is the only problem with that. And your surname should be the Nest. And you should be the Nests. And it should be Cuckoo in the Nests. That's what it should be called.
Are you referring to that old sitcom?
No, I think that I just like making up better sitcom names. Cuckoo is not. That's not a pun, is it? If he was called Ian Cuckoo, and you were called the Nest.
I guess I'm tired now. But every time you say Ian, I just keep thinking of Guy Fawkes.
Ian Gunpowder.
They're tired as well.
That's my go-to name.
Let's stop this.
We can finish if you like. Well, I don't know how long.
No, I'm having a lovely time,
I don't know how long we've been going. I forgot. Oh, it's all suddenly went weird, isn't it? Is that just me? I don't know how long we've been going for. Is it true that you got the job in The In-Betweeners, which you're extremely funny in, and I have seen all of it lots of times, because you were sitting next to Ian Morris, the writer, in a pub when he got the phone call.
I was with both the writers when they got the phone call to say they got the pilot. Yeah. We were all half cut. They went, hey, we've got a pilot, you could be in it. That's that audition.
That's why I keep myself to myself too much in this business. I should just go out drinking, get people drunk, and hope the call comes in. So that was an amazing sitcom to get in, to be obviously in between.
Brilliant.
And yeah.
Brilliant. I loved it.
Have you got anything to say about The In-Betweeners that you've never said to anyone else before?
Absolutely nothing. No.
That's what I thought.
You can ask me the question that people always ask if you like.
Have you had sex with the boy? We're
3 of the 4. 3 of the 4. I couldn't catch Simon Bird. He's bright. He's fast. No, the question I get asked is, when you were a real teacher, how close to Mr. Gilbert were you like? I get asked that fucking 10 times a year, a month, and it's like, how close do you think I was? He's a psychopath.
I auditioned for the part of the paedophile teacher that Wayne Shepherd plays.
Yeah. I can see that.
But I didn't get it. I'm very offended.
I was going to say, it reflects very badly on Wayne Shepherd that you didn't get it.
I would have loved to have been in that. It was a very good sitcom. We pretty much talked about all that. That's good. There was a funny article I saw about things you got up to as a kid, and you've got some. I mean, your real stories about your dad are insane.
Yeah.
And brilliant in all your stand-up shows.
I'm very lucrative.
Yes.
Literally half. My mum said to me recently, I think you should probably stop talking about me and your dad now, love. I'm just trying to work out whether I can tell this. It's incredible. You said I can have stuff removed.
We can take it out afterwards, but then we'll have to use a memory.
No, my mum said, you know, I think you should probably stop talking about me and your dad on stage because you've used all the funny stuff now. All the best stories have gone now. And I think, you know, any more stories you tell, they won't be as good, so you should just stop it. And I went, OK, you don't think you're likely to do anything in the future that will... She goes, no, I think it's probably time that you laid it all to rest. And I went, OK. And then there was a beat, and she went, have you been reading about this Oscar Pistorius case? have you... You know who Oscar Pistorius is, of course you do. It's right in the media, no. And I went, I have, yes. She goes, what do you think? And I said, about what? She goes, do you think he killed her? Do you think he did it? And I said, well, I don't know, obviously, Mum, but if you were asking for an opinion at this stage, I would say, you know, maybe he did. It sounds like he may have lost his temper and perhaps he did kill her. She goes, yeah. That's what I've been thinking too, love. Such a tragedy all round, isn't it? And I went, it is. There's no winners. It's awful. She went, yeah. She goes, oh dear, silly lad. He had the world at his feet. Amazing. That's the only thing Oscar Pistorius didn't have. The greatest of respect to all my disabled brethren.
But are they annoyed about my parents? 'Cause I do stuff about my dad, especially, who does say lots of stupid things, but not to the same extent as you do. But I do use my family in a few of the things I've written, and they kind of sort of like it, but sort of don't like it. They want some money for the material. Yeah, and they sort of.
Mine don't mind it at all. Well, my dad doesn't get a choice because he ripped the piss out of me for my whole childhood, so this is payback. But my mum, I do have some respect for. And I respect my dad as well, I'm joking. But no, I've only ever offended them once. I offended my mum once, and I've said this a lot on Have I Got News For You? I went too far.
Right.
Yeah, I told her to fuck off. It's just part of a story I was doing. Exactly, see?
Look at that. Its own mum.
I went, fuck you, is what I did. I told a story about her, and then I went, fuck you, mum, down the barrel. And they told me they'd bleep it, and they didn't bleep it. So it was me on that massive show going, fuck you, mum.
Not only didn't they bleep it, they added you cunt on the end of it.
Like an animated arm. Yeah, so it was unfortunate that, and I had to buy her a cardigan to say sorry. Genuinely.
Was that? She wasn't talking to you until you had to work out what it was she wanted.
My mother's amazing, and she wasn't even offended. It was all her friends who were offended, and she was upset that they were offended on her behalf, so it was all very messy. But, you know, one jumper, fine, back in the game.
Yeah, for my parents, well, I was talking about Oscar Pistorius. My dad was going, well, he didn't do it, though, did he? He didn't. It wasn't. It was an accident. I was going, well, it seems likely it might not have been an accident to me. That's not the kind of accident. If there's someone in the toilet, I would go, is that you, darling? Before. Or just go back and check, you know. The bed that's there.
Do you know, I've not even thought that. Of course.
So, I think we're allowed to talk about it because we're not in the car. I think that's probably... I'm saying that's probably the rules. That's probably the legal rules.
Do you know, any woman who's... if it had been me, she would have been safe because... This happened really recently to me. I hung a picture up in my bedroom. It's about 3 weeks ago. I hung a picture up in my bedroom badly. And then in the middle of the night, it fell off, right? It fell off and shattered, like at 3 o'clock in the morning. Now, I'm 45 years of age, right? And I moved to London when I was 18. But it shattered, and I woke up, and this is what I did. Mum! What the fuck is that? Mum!
But if you'd had a gun, it would...
Oh, yeah.
Well, my
They'd
dad
get me in a trial, though, wouldn't they? Just before the gunshots, the neighbour clearly heard, Mum!
My dad is convinced of innocence, so and innocent until proven guilty.
Good, maybe.
I mean, he was just shocked. He was shocked by the idea that it might not be. It might. Fucking off. He'll get off. So, guilty until proven a celebrity.
Right, kids. It's a cruel world.
So, but you also did lots of stupid, dumbass shit as a kid. Like you tried to do a dog sled with one dog. Is this true? You remember this?
Christ, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't try to. I succeeded. Yeah. We built a sled for 6 people and our dog. We were horrible to our dog. Something about the 80s growing up. It was okay to be cruel to dogs back then. It's not now, is it? It's
not.
It's all sniffed upon.
Things have changed.
He loved it. He loved it.
And
I dressed him up in my dad's underpants once. Me and my sister put a massive pair of white underpants on and we were all pissing ourselves. The whole family. I was like, Dad, look at this. He was going, oh. And the dog really calmly walked outside and looked back at the house. And I swear he did this. He went... And he just filled them full of piss. It was amazing. And then he looked at us just to go, yeah, hilarious, isn't it? Enjoy taking these pissy pants off me, won't you? You'll have to catch me first.
And you blew up cow pats?
Yeah, me and my sister spent a whole summer. Did you used to go to France and buy those massive bangers? You could buy bangers that were like sticks of dynamite. We used to bring like a whole suitcase of them back. And there was a field at the back of our garden and we would push dynamite into cow pats and then wait till the cows were nearby and then light them. It was great. What the cows must have thought, what the fuck is this? They were never hurt, and nor was my dog.
Sounds suspiciously like your dog was hurt. What have you had?
That's a weird thing. That's a countryside growing up, isn't it? Blowing up cow shit.
I remember my friend. There used to be lots of air rifles and stuff. But with my parents, my mum is so overprotective. Even now, won't let me do it. She wouldn't let me have an air rifle now. If only Oscar Pistorius' mum had been so vigilant. But my friend Phil Fry. Well, he definitely shot her. That is not even lie, but he definitely shot her. It was mistaken identity through a toilet wall. But Phil Fry we used to shoot blackbirds. And I remember he once shot a blackbird right in its, cloaca, I'm guessing, though he said arse. And he shot it right through its arse.
Oh.
That's not nice, is it?
Did it die?
Yeah, eventually.
I never did any of that as a kid.
No.
You know, boys are supposed to shoot birds and pull spiders' legs off. I never did any of that. I was really, really lovely.
I would have done if I'd been allowed, but my mum stopped me.
I had an air rifle when I was allowed one at 17, when I shouldn't have been interested.
Did you shoot? What did you shoot? Tin
Bees.
cans?
The only live thing I ever shot was bees.
Bees.
Yeah.
Pretty impressive.
Friend and I found... No, it wasn't. We found it really hilarious if they were sitting on a flower to put the barrel right against them. And go... So, all that stuff I said about not pulling spiders' legs off.
I shot a few bees. We've all done that.
We called it the...
Wem
bee cull.
What is the... what's the worst judged venue do you think you've ever played on tours? Is there any venue you've been to that it was a bad place to go? For you. I've heard that you went to Blackpool in the closed season on the pier when it's like really dangerously windy and stuff.
On tour I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, they opened... I don't know whose idea it was. My manager's here, I'll have to ask him. But it was closed season in Blackpool. It was on this tour that I've just done.
Was it?
And it was end of the Pier Theatre that had been closed for months. And they opened it up for one night.
Right.
And of course, the end of the pier takes about 6 months to warm up when they turn the Victorian heating on.
Yeah.
But so it was fucking awful. It was freezing, and everyone was in coats and scarves. But it was actually brilliant. I loved it. Yeah, it was great. It's a great old theatre.
The wind and rain and sea encroaching.
No, it was good. It was cold.
That's all right.
It had the original Sooty in the foyer.
Did it?
In a glass case. Yeah, just fucked Sooty.
That'll be you one day.
A fucked sooty.
Do you have, what's the word, do you probably stay at nice hotels now because you're successful and rich?
I'm still quite thrifty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you,
Mid-rangers.
It's what?
Mid-rangers we go for.
Right, so yeah, mid-range, yeah. So what's your worst experience of digs on tour, do you think?
Well, they've all been quite,
Been all right.
reasonable. The worst hotel I ever stayed in was for a gig in Monaco when I was first to stand up, and we flew over. Me and 3 other terrible comedians flew to Monaco to play this nightclub gig. I can't remember who was promoting it even. And on the way over, our EasyJet flight was struck by lightning. And then the weather was so bad in Monaco, we had to go to somewhere 4 hours away. And then someone came and got us and drove us 4 hours. So we were just in time for the start of the gig. And our hotel had flock wallpaper on it. And if you ran your fingers down it like this, it would come away like because it was just so rotten. Yeah. And there were cockroaches in the bathroom. And then we went to the gig and everyone died on their arse. And we went to a different bar afterwards, and I was standing at a bar, avoiding going back to the cockroach hotel. And a woman came over and went, "Hey, are you one of the comedians from over the road?" And I went, "Oh, yeah, I am." She goes, "I hear you were dog shit."
The news had spread.
Good.
I wasn't there.
Good time. Amazing.
And if your penis could travel in time,
yeah,
and you could have consensual sex with any historical or future person.
Any future person?
That's what Robert Llewellyn, you've got to listen to Robert Llewellyn's one. I mean, it was unbelievable. But
he went someone in the future that doesn't exist yet.
Yes.
Wow.
Who was a relative of the daughter of one of his friends.
Why?
Well, it's all right. Is it? I don't know. When they'll be grown up in the future.
I mean, God.
Yeah. So you can go to the future and have sex with my grandchild or something, or you can go into the past. Like when they're grown up, just because they're a child. They'd be my grandchild, but they could be a grown up or a child, whatever you like. It's just a way of me helping Operation U-Tree by weeding out entertainers who will come up with something perverse. Yeah.
I don't know who I'd go back in time
Guy
and have sex with.
Guy Fawkes.
Ian Fawkes.
I think it would be a bit indiscreet to get your penis through time to Guy Fawkes, because if he's had his cut off and you're showing off, look at this.
Yeah, I mean,
look at this.
The whole tickle under the thing. That's not going to help him then, is it? I don't know, Richard. I'll give it some thought and maybe write to you, let you know which historical character I want to fuck.
Have you? This is an interesting question.
Is this the dick one?
Yeah. Have you ever tried to suck your own cock?
I'm glad you've asked me that, Richard, because it will feel like a weight off my chest, because I have.
Yeah.
I've admitted it on stage before, actually. I did it when I was about 13 or 14, and I successfully got the tip in.
Yeah.
And then I pulled this muscle in my left shoulder doing it, and every single winter, when winter comes on, I pull the same muscle. So I'm 45, once a year I have to go, God, why did you try and suck your... Every winter for the rest of my life. I'm not making it up. I got the tip in, though.
Yeah, I got the... we already know why.
Very much.
We already know why. I also got the tip in.
Did you?
No,
How
not
did
your
you do
tip,
it?
my tip. I think I just rolled over... Again, when I was
did. I laid down and put my legs over.
Yeah.
I have a very vivid memory of getting it in and going, oh, God. Awful. Awful ambition, awful reality.
And then you were punished for the rest of your life.
Genuinely, once a year.
Yeah. Maybe my punishment's coming all in one go. Maybe that's my punishment.
Maybe.
My gammy finger. Well, listen, I think we've had... Oh, dear. It's been. I don't think there's. You know, I think I've covered most. I've asked you about the time travelling penis. And
Yeah.
Your own penis.
Yeah.
So I think
I think we've covered everything.
that's
haven't we?
probably. Yes, I think that will. Probably do for now. Next gentleman, Greg Davies. There he is. Look, he's coming back. How'd you like them sky potatoes?